cravings, irritability, or weight gain. You walk in a smoker and you walk out free. Only $59.99 or your money back. Stop Smoking Seminar Saturday, July 18th, the Hilton Garden Inn Cajun Dome at 2 p.m. Weight loss at 11 a.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. That's ALEXGOEN. alexgoen.com.
Ready to transform your backyard into the summer paradise you've always dreamed of? With Duplessis Builders custom gunite pool packages, we make it simple to own a stunning, long-lasting, in-ground pool built just for you. Choose from classic designs, all customizable to fit your space, style, and budget. Our pools come with quality finishes, energy-efficient equipment, beautiful lighting, and professional installation from excavation to decking so you can dive in before the next heat wave hits. Don't just dream it, build it. Visit duplessisbuilders.net.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3 gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab or 337-519-3563.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Carencro Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up!
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys! Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The FIFA World Cup semifinals are officially set. Spain beat Belgium on Friday, while England beat Norway and Argentina took out Switzerland on Saturday. Those 3 victors joined France, who had previously advanced, meaning it'll be France against Spain tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, and then England against Argentina on Wednesday afternoon, also kicking off at 2 o'clock. The Major League Baseball draft took place over the weekend, and there was plenty of local flair. Derek Curiel of LSU was taken 5th overall by the Pittsburgh Pirates, making him a potential new teammate for ace Paul Skeens. LSU also saw Jake Brown and Devin Sheeran get selected in the first 5 rounds. In total, the Tigers had 8 players selected, including local product Gavin Guidry. McNeese star pitcher Eric Knoxdime was selected by the San Francisco Giants in the 6th round. He'll be joined by Louisiana Raging Cajuns pitcher Cody Brash, who also went to the Giants a couple of rounds later. Former North Vermilion and LSU East star Tyson LeBlanc was taken by the Detroit Tigers with the 61st overall pick. As for the Houston Astros, they dropped their final series before the All-Star break to Texas, but they did add some players via a couple of first-round selections. Logan Hughes from Texas Tech at number 17 and Jake Radell from Notre Dame at number 28 were both added to the organization. Tom Kim returned to the winner's circle on the PGA Tour over the weekend. Kim won the Genesis Scottish Open with a score of 17 under. I'm Dawson Iserlo, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. This is 2 hours of sports talk like none other. Footnotes with the man who speaks his own language.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Your host, Kevin Foote.
Welcome into Footnotes. You are listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette, 1041 Lake Charles on this kind of a gloomy Monday. I'm just kind of blah. The weather's blah. The Astros weekend series was blah. I'm about to have football season's about to start. Kind of blah. I guess that leads into our poll question. You know, it's a double-edged sword. When you're just a fan, like most of you are listening, when you're just a fan, then there's nothing holding you back other than if you're a fan like me, the anticipation can kill you. I'm so nervous. I don't know. You just get so nervous and you just don't know if you can watch kind of fan. Then I guess there's something that hold you back. But other than that, it's like a go. I mean, let's go. But when it's your job, it's a little different. Like the school year is long. We use the word grind. Like it's a from once football starts until your baseball team is eliminated, or I guess softball team, depending on how far the softball team would go. It's a long grind, and so you know it's coming, and yet you kind of want to push it off as long as you can. You need as much of a mental break, decompress, whatever. I'm certainly more ready for it than I was 2 weeks ago. I'm more ready for it than I was a week ago. In 2 days, we are going to be in New Orleans at Sunbelt Conference Media Day. So to me, that's kind of like kicks off the football season. I mean, we haven't talked that much football over the last couple months since the NFL draft, every day. Once the draft ended, we talked a little football, but mostly we've talked diamond sports and, a little bit of World Cup. And in the last 6 weeks, our Footenotes summer project and all of that. So we haven't talked that much football. And so I guess it's time. I mean, I'd rather wait another week, but they didn't ask me. So what are the options, sir, on our poll question of the day?
Yes, no, or getting close.
I guess getting close is where I am. I can't say, look, the fan part of me, I'm a glass overflowing fan. And so it's hard I was optimistic when all you supposedly positive people were down on the Saints the last 3 or 4 years. Now, was I this optimistic? No. Obviously, after 2 drafts and after seeing how good the Beeve and the boys did on the first draft, his first draft, obviously there's a lot more legitimacy, I guess. There's a lot more reason to believe that the depth chart is better and that they're going to do well. So I can't wait to see how they. I mean, it's kind of like I don't want to start going down that road, which is why we haven't talked we've talked very little Saints. Every once in a while, I'll bring up something, or when Dawson is on my show or I'm on his show, he'll bring up a question and we'll kind of talk about it just to kind of keep it alive. But I don't want to. It's like so much waiting because once training camp starts in like 2 weeks, then that's when it's just total agony for me. Because then you've got 5 or 6 weeks of talking about something with nothing happening. Like, because once they go to camp, then there is no more pushing it back. It's like we're talking about it every day and nothing is happening. Oh, it's just August is torture for me as a fan. Now, again, I'm involved in high school football and college football, covering the Cajuns, in addition to, talking about the Saints and analyzing the Saints and being a fan of the Saints. So football is a lot more than just being an LSU fan, for someone like me who's both a fan and, working. And so it's I don't know that I'm ready. But I am getting closer. That I would agree. I think I would vote for, yes, I'm getting closer. What did you vote?
I guess getting close, but I more no than yes. Like, I'm not there.
But it's here, and so we will start addressing it. And obviously, we're going to be talking a lot about Sunbelt Conference Media Day. I've done more research, and I feel while I know more details than I did last week, I feel we talked about this over and over. I think I have less of an idea of the teams in the Sun Belt, what we're looking at, than I did a year ago when I thought we had very little idea. And I think this year we have less of an idea. Because, again, I don't even know. I mean, we're all assuming James Madison's got all this money, and so they're going to be really, really, really good. Again, you can assume that, and there's probably a pretty good chance that that's true. But when you get a whole new coaching staff and just there's serious turnover. Like we don't even know. James Madison was in the playoffs last year, and I can't tell you. I think it's a lock that they're going to win their division because we don't even know most of their players. Got a whole new coaching staff. The thing they've always had was just this great defense that you couldn't hardly move the football on. Well, do we know? Like, it's all new coaches. It's almost all new players. Like, do we know how much of a lock is that James Madison is going to be the James Madison defense that they've had the last 3 or 4 years? Maybe. I mean, do I feel a little more, if you ask me who I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to, probably them. But do we don't, it's all new coaches and players. We have no idea. We're just guessing. We're just guessing based on the past. But those players aren't there. Those coaches aren't there. So we're saying, well, they got a lot of money, so they paid their players a lot. But we've also seen exceptions where just because you pay players a lot doesn't mean, look at the Mets. I mean, I know that's a different level, a different sport. Look at LSU baseball. I mean, we're going to use examples like that over and over to make the point. It's really not to pick on those teams or their coaches. It's just a ready example that we lived. We just got finished living through. You just don't know. So Sunbelt Conference Media Days on Wednesday and Thursday is going to be very interesting because it's like it's a learning process. The problem is there's a lot to learn. Like, there is a lot to learn. And I don't know how many answers are even attainable. Because, I remember last year talking about, Arkansas State, say, who they're one of the teams that has the same coach. But even last year, they had like 70 new players. Think about that number. They had more new players than is even on an NFL roster. And they weren't the only one with like 70 new players. 70. I mean, it's just remarkable. So we're going to try to go through that process. We are going to kind of talk a little bit about baseball. It's the break. The Astros had a weekend that was kind of unlike they've been playing. They won the vast majority of their last, 8 series, but they didn't win it over the weekend. They had a bad week. They went I was hoping for 4-2 go into the All-Star break at 500. Turns out they went 2-4. Now they're 4 under. And the starting pitching, which has been miserable all season, let them down in Washington. And the bullpen, now the starting pitching was dreadful again, with the exception of Peter Lambert, which, I mean, I still don't have any idea how Peter Lambert gets people out like he does. I don't really need to know, but just from a curiosity, like I watch him and he gets people out, and I can't say, well, he's got this unbelievable velocity, he's got this unbelievable changeup, or he's got this unbelievable, Lance McCullers in his prime curveball. He doesn't have any of that. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. I can tell you one thing, he's mentally tough. His makeup is an A. I don't know that he has any A pitches, but his makeup is an A. And so how long can this keep up? I don't know. I wish Hunter Brown has his makeup. Hunter Brown I worry about Hunter Brown. I really do. Now, not as a legitimate major league starting pitcher, but I'm talking about being the front line. When you're the quote unquote ace, the standards are different. I'm not even sure Hunter Brown's as mentally tough as Peter Lambert, who most of us didn't even know who he was at the beginning of the season. So it was ironic because the bullpen let him down over the weekend. And I'm not going to be down on the bullpen because the bullpen's done yeoman's work this year because the starting rotation has been so dreadful. And so, Josh Hader had a bad outing. I mean, yeah, he did. But, I mean, he wasn't going to pitch perfect all season. I knew that. And so you can only be so down on someone who's pitched as well as he has when he has a bad outing. So I still say, it's about playing defense. Like the first batter of the ninth inning, Langford gets a single to left, and DeCenzo overruns the ball and lets him get to second base. That's a totally different mindset. Totally different mindset. I got a leadoff single. Oh, it's tied in the ninth, and I got a King. Just awful, and he had a bad weekend. I understand that it's still just July, but once he got to 2 outs in the eighth, the Astros they were down 4-1. They tied the game. Cam hits a homer, so they're up 5-4. There's 2 outs and nobody on, and the 9-hitter up. And I guess the reason why they didn't pull King, even though he's been awful all weekend, is it's 2 outs and nobody on, and the 9-hitter's up. And, of course, with 2 strikes, the 9-hitter hits a home run to tie the game. I'm like, you got to be kidding. Unbelievable. But at that point, going in, I was like, don't pitch King. Don't pitch King. And they pitched him. And then it looked like he was going to get away with it, and then he didn't. At that point, I'm like, a year ago, they would have probably brought Hader in with 1 out in the ninth. 1 out in the eighth. But I understand they're trying to protect him. It's just a frustrating series to lose when your offense showed a little life late and your bullpen let you down. But again, you can only be so mad at the bullpen. So we're going to talk a little baseball as well today and tomorrow. And then obviously when we get to New Orleans, it'll be almost exclusively Sunbelt football. For now, we'll take a timeout and be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Fellas here at ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles, packing their bags, heading to Florida, Tampa to be exact, for the SEC Media Days starting Monday, July the 20th, where RP3 and Mesh and the Lowdown with D-Lo will be broadcasting live from Radio Row for ESPN's live version or coverage of SEC Media Days, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. In addition to the live show, the fellas will be providing daily reports for Jardy Show and right here on Footnotes. Kick off the 2026 football season in Tampa with ESPN's 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station.
Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Palermo. Join us on Tuesday nights for Tiger Rag Radio. Myself, Todd Horn, and Glenn Gilbo give you the latest happenings in Tiger Town and across the SEC. We talk to coaches, analysts, and those in the know when it comes to the Tigers and the Southeastern Conference. We cover all the sports: football, baseball, basketball, softball, and gymnastics. That's Tuesday nights right here on ESPN 103.7 in Lafayette and 104.1 in Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station.
Oh, look who's here.
Everybody Loves Raymond is on MeTV.
Who told you that?
Raymond!
America's #1 classic TV network.
Nothing even comes close.
Enjoy 2 back-to-back episodes every weeknight.
We're doing it twice.
Watch Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, it's all about you, Raymond.
Weeknights starting at 8 on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
The experts at Web.com want to build your business a successful website for free, just like we did for these current Web.com customers.
We've looked at other website designers. There's nobody better than Web.com.
Web.com can build your website in as little as 7 days free. Plus, we'll promote it on all the major search engines. If after 30 days you're happy, we'll continue to provide promotion, hosting, support, and maintenance, all for one low monthly fee. If not, cancel and pay nothing.
If you're in business and you don't have a web presence, you won't be taken seriously.
Call right now and you'll also get a free .com or .net domain name for your new website, powered by VeriSign, the world's leading domain name provider.
No upfront charge for site build, after which ongoing fees apply. Rights to site are relinquished when canceled. Domain included during active service, after which fees apply.
855-719-3099. 855-719-3099. 855-719-3099. That's 855-719-3099.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Louisiana at highschoolofficials.com.
You're listening to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Your home for the best local sports talk in Southwest Louisiana.
Welcome back to Footnotes. If you would like to get in on the ESPN hotline, certainly feel free to do so. 706-0111, 706-0111. Again, lots going on. A lot of people get into the Major League Draft, but we followed that all the weekend. We'll have some thoughts on that. If you want to comment on the poll question, how ready you are on football, anything to do with Sunbelt Conference Media Days, certainly feel free to do so. Major League Baseball, the Major League Draft is hard to get as emotional and in-depth with as the NFL Draft is, obviously. Again, we talked about it on Friday. It was like, how many hours did we spend talking about the NFL Draft before it actually happened? And how closely did we pay attention to it when it was going on? Like, a lot. And we had many reactions. Some of them are going to turn out to be accurate. Some of them and some of the times that's good. The inaccurate part, I mean. But we didn't hardly talk about the Major League Draft at all. And it's harder to be it's harder to have a really strong opinion because most of the players you've never seen play before. I mean, some you have, but most of the players you've never seen play before. And plus, it's so much harder to analyze how good a player is going to be because he might not even make it to the major leagues. I mean, you know, we use the word crapshoot all the time. But with the draft, it really is. Like Russ is kind of getting into sports now, so he starts asking me questions, and he's like, I'm like, Russ, these guys might not even make it to the major leagues. He said, what? He said, they got to do what to get to the major leagues? He didn't have much of a concept of farm systems. But with all of that said, man, I made the comment at around, I don't know, late in the fourth round on Saturday. Is Dana Brown trying to get fired? Like, that was my thought. That was the thought process. Is he trying to get fired? I don't know. Look, I hope I'm dead wrong. Dawson could probably help us on Wes Mendez. Logan Hughes is a midget. Like, he had a great year. He's obviously a great college hitter. He doesn't have a position. He doesn't have any athletic skills. Like, he better be a great hitter. Like, I don't know where they're going to play him. He can't run. He can't throw. Like, he has 0+ skills, but he might be able to hit. Like, in our Astros group, they had this was a little bit before a lot of y'all's time. Greg Jeffries was a guy didn't really have much of a position. Played a little third, a little first, maybe a little outfield. And he was a short, and he had a good long career. He wasn't great, but he was okay. I don't know this first round pick, I don't know what the ceiling is with this guy. And then the second pick, look, it works a lot. I mean, sometimes you hit when you pick like the starting pitcher at UCLA or something, you know, whoever's really hot that year. And then the Astros did a lot in this draft of picking guys who were not necessarily from the powerhouse, you know, pitchers from non-powerhouse programs, which that doesn't, I mean, it can work. It can certainly work. We'll see what Raydell does. He did have a lot of strikeouts for innings pitched. When you read what the experts said, it did not sound good. I mean, again, because what the experts say about these guys doesn't mean they're correct. It doesn't mean that. Keon Johnson, their third-round pick, is a guy who they were really high on the year before, and he supposedly faded. And he's not. He doesn't seem like an overly great athlete. It's almost like it was a guy that all the baseball guys were really, really, really high on. Well, a year later, they're not as high on him, and it's almost like they're saying, "Well, it's the third round. Most of us were really high on this guy last year. A lot of people have faded on him, and so we're going to hope that original assessment is correct, and so we're going to pick him in the third round." Again, was it not there? Nothing that I read about Hughes, Raydell, or Johnson was like, oh man, this is a guy to get all geeked up about. Doesn't mean they can't be good. I'm just talking about on this side of the fence. Then in the fourth round, they pick a shortstop from Missouri who can't hit. That's when I said he must be trying to get fired. Like in the fourth round, they pick a shortstop from Missouri who can't hit. Now, supposedly he's great defensively, and I love defense more than I wouldn't even say as much as I love defense more than just about anyone. But you don't draft just defense in the fourth round. And then in their second, fourth round pick, they pick a high school third baseman. Man, he better be good. I mean, I'm looking at the real chance that they're going to get nothing on the first day of the draft. Nothing that was exciting, and I hope I'm wrong. Now, on Sunday, I should say, the rest of the draft, once you get past the fourth or fifth round, it's really a crapshoot. We understand that, but I like a lot of their picks. I don't know how good he's going to be, but I thought Aaron Piasecki can really hit, like really hit. And I like Galloway. That was some guys that we know. The Cajuns also faced Ben Tryon, and he was there. But they picked a lot of pitchers. And I kind of like the strategy of picking pitchers from non-normal, big-time programs late, because a lot of people have an ace pitcher that fall under the radar on mediocre to bad teams or lower levels that you can get something out, like an A.J. Blue Balls of the world. So I like their strategy. Something tells me, first of all, tell me about Wes Mendez, because you obviously know way more about him than I do.
Yeah, Wes Mendez is really good. It's funny because I have more to compare him to, because Florida State's had a top tier arm pretty much for the last 5 or 6 years. So I think about Parker Messick, who was there and went pretty high in the draft. But he's a really good player. He got a lot better from his sophomore to his junior season. Strikeout numbers were high. He cut down on the walks. I mean, he was really good. He had this bad stretch towards the end of the year, and then he was kind of injured a little bit. He didn't pitch a ton in the regionals. And so that was kind of the first maybe sign of thing. But he was really, really good. The upside is there. I think that I'm surprised they got him where they got him.
Why did the scouting report say he doesn't have a plus major league pitch?
I guess that's some of the concern. I mean, I don't know. I think his breaking ball's pretty good. I guess maybe you think his fastball's not going to play at the highest level. I don't know. I mean, I don't look at it from scouting stuff like that. You know what I mean? I watched him get out really good hitters consistently. So I get there's this next level to it where you got to have that extra juice. But I mean, the Astros have been known to give a guy a plus pitch, right? I mean, I don't know if they've still got that pitching mechanic lab they had at one time, right, where they figured out how to make Charlie Morton good again. But I trust them to figure that out.
Were you not underwhelmed with their third and fourth round picks? I mean, they were just, that's still kind of in the wheelhouse. And I was just so underwhelmed. I mean, I was just like, what are they doing? They better be right about this, because there's just nothing good to say about these. And scouting reports are normally kind of glowing. If you watch these shows, they say great stuff about just about everybody that's picked. The scouting reports on all those guys were negative.
The only one I actually felt, I'm with you on the first pick. I don't like the idea of taking a guy whose upside feels pretty limited. If he doesn't turn into a great big league hitter, he's not going to be a big leaguer at all. You know what I mean? Because he's not a good fielder, and he's not a great athlete. So I do think that's a stretch for first round pick. I guess they love the hitting tools. And look, he put up massive hitting numbers for 3 seasons in college. But if he's not a really good hitter, he's not even going to play in the big leagues.
No,
you know what I mean?
He's never going to make it.
So that is concerning to me for a first-round pick. Feels like that's more of a second, third-round type thing.
I mean, again, I'm not as emotionally invested in the Astros in the Major League draft as I am in the NFL draft, for the reason I said earlier. You don't even know these guys are going to make it to the Major Leagues, at least in the NFL. I mean, they're in the NFL. Now, they might get cut, but they're there. I mean, it's just, there's a lot fewer dots to connect. But, man, it's been a rough season. I still don't think we know what this team's going to be. The jury is still very much out on this team. But in a year where it's been like going to the dentist to be a fan of the Astros this year because of how bad their starting pitching is. And then, over the weekend, Hunter Brown is disappointing again, and Christian Javier was terrible. And you're just hoping to get a little ray of light with what they do in the draft. And I understand when you draft someone, you have none of us have any idea how good they're going to be, but you can draft exciting players at least to give you some hope. Like these guys, I mean, their Saturday draft I thought was awful. I mean, it looked awful. There were very few good things to say from scouts about any of their players. And so it's like, man, this is depressing. Like, is this cat trying to get fired? And again, I'm giving him one more chance. He's got to hit a home run in the next couple weeks. And by the way, why wait? Like, make a deal now. Like, everybody's in Philly, I'm assuming, for the All-Star game. Why wait for the break? Make a deal now. You need players now. You need a major league outfield now. You need another starting pitcher now. It might be too late at the All-Star break. They get off to an awful start. We'll take a timeout and be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The FIFA World Cup semifinals are officially set. Spain beat Belgium on Friday, while England beat Norway and Argentina took out Switzerland on Saturday. Those three victors joined France, who had previously advanced, meaning it'll be France against Spain tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, and then England against Argentina on Wednesday afternoon, also kicking off at 2 o'clock. The Major League Baseball draft took place over the weekend, and there was plenty of local flair. Derek Curiel of LSU was taken 5th overall by the Pittsburgh Pirates, making him a potential new teammate for ace Paul Skeens. LSU also saw Jake Brown and Devin Sheeran get selected in the first 5 rounds. In total, the Tigers had 8 players selected, including local product Gavin Guidry. McNeese star pitcher Eric Knoxdime was selected by the San Francisco Giants in the 6th round. He'll be joined by Louisiana Raging Cajuns pitcher Cody Brash, who also went to the Giants a couple of rounds later. Former North Vermilion and LSU East star Tyson LeBlanc was taken by the Detroit Tigers with the 61st overall pick. As for the Houston Astros, they dropped their final series before the All-Star break to Texas, but they did add some players via a couple of first-round selections. Logan Hughes from Texas Tech at number 17 and Jake Radell from Notre Dame at number 28 were both added to the organization. Tom Kim returned to the winner's circle on the PGA Tour over the weekend. Kim won the Genesis Scottish Open with a score of 17 under. I'm Dawson Iserloh, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is packing its bags and headed to Tampa for SEC Media Days. Tune in starting Monday, July 20th, as RP3 and Mesh and The Lowdown with D'Lo will be broadcasting live from Radio Row for ESPN's Live from SEC Media Day coverage, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Kick off the 2026 season in Tampa with ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
The heart of Acadiana is its local businesses, the people, families, and companies that help our communities thrive. Here's a message from a proud certified South Louisiana business.
Candyland Cottage is the place to satisfy all your cravings. Find delicious ice creams, fresh fudges, truffles, hot dogs, sausage po' boys, Frito pies, and homemade shakes. Visit us in Scott and Rain for a sweet treat. Plan your next birthday party or field trip at Candyland Cottage.
Shop local, support local. Certified South Louisiana.
Lose weight with Alex Goen patented hypnosis.
This is Lisa Stofan. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods. I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight.
The only weight loss method in America proven useful by the U.S. Patent Office because it reprograms your subconscious. Engineered to kill cravings, emotional eating, and late-night fridge attacks. Get full on half the food, so you lose the weight and you keep it off. 10 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever your goal. Only $59.99 or your money back. Weight loss seminar Saturday, July 18th at the Hilton Garden Inn Cajun Dome at 11 a.m. Stop smoking at 2 p.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. That's ALEXGOEN.com. alexgoen.com.
Do you know how many tax resolution firms have been forced to close because they were taking advantage of people or have gone out of business? It happens all the time. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. As a matter of fact, there are national tax relief companies that are currently under court orders to cease operations. So if you have IRS issues, do not fall for the threats and scare tactics of the national so-called tax relief companies. The Bryson Law Firm has been doing this for decades. We have a AAA BBB rating, and our entire focus is IRS problems and tax liability issues. An IRS problem is a legal problem. Let the Bryson Law Firm help you get relief the right way. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Don't put it off any longer. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Bryson Law Firm. LSB filing number LA2519684.
Helping you get through your workday. This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Welcome back to Footnotes. Again, if you would like to get in on the ESPN hotline, certainly feel free to do so, 706-0111. All right. There was, while I was very underwhelmed with the Astros job in the draft, you know, they didn't give you a lot to, it was kind of like, for those who are older, kind of like Chris Naoli. Way back in the late 90s when Ditka was that bozo was the Astros, the Saints head coach. He had the Saints, I think they had the 8th pick overall that year. It was somewhere in the back half of the top 10. And he picked Chris Naoli. He picked a guard that no one had ever heard of in the top 10. Now, as it turned out, Chris Naoli was an NFL football player. Like, he didn't play that great for the Saints because they were so miserable offensively in that era. But he started a lot of games. He went to other teams and started a lot of games. You know, if he's one of those guys where if he'd have been a 2nd or 3rd round pick, you would think, it was a good pick. You know, he started a lot of games. But on the day that you picked him, it was like very underwhelming, which I'm hoping it kind of works out where a lot of these guys that they picked on Saturday are at least workmanlike. But the interesting thing about the draft, and I don't know what to think of this, and I'm not just talking about the Astros, although the Astros, the guy they picked, Logan Hughes, fits into this. The very interesting thing about the draft is they seem to pick contact hitter after contact hitter after contact hitter. So we're in an era right now where everything is launch angle and home run or bust. And you know I'm not a home run or bust guy. And it's almost like all these GMs across said, look, I'm tired of watching guys strike out. So like they didn't pick a bunch of boom or bust guys, which is what Major League Baseball kind of is right now. They picked a lot of contact hitters, and that's why I was shocked that Curiel went as early as he did, and a lot of guys like that. Didn't you think that was interesting?
Yes, but I got to tell you what, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm feeling a little under the weather this morning, but I guess I have enough energy to point this out here. This is crazy even for you.
What?
This reaction to this draft, okay, the NFL draft. Like, by the time you get, especially the first couple picks, you've watched the players play a lot. You've done your own homework. You can give, and so if a player gets taken that you're not a fan of, I get, like, a strong reaction because you probably, especially, like, someone like myself, like, I've generally watched these players play a lot of football. The NBA draft, if you're an NBA fan and you watch, at least the guy your team picks, you can go back and because there's only going to be one or two of them, so you can go back and you can watch them all, and then you can have an opinion. We never even seen these guys play, the majority of these players.
That's true. And so I'm going off of scouts who almost always over-glorify players, and they could not over-glorify these picks.
This is one or two scouts' opinions who, by the way, don't work for teams because theoretically maybe they're not good enough to work for teams, so they work for some publication. Like I just think you need to let's really pump the brakes on these reactions to the Major League Baseball draft is supposed to be the most stress-free draft of all because you go hey, check with me in 5 years and we'll
like Jack
reevaluate.
Raydell. I would have looked at his stats. I never saw him pitch. I'd have looked at his stats. His strikeouts innings pitch was awesome. And all they talked about was, man, he's got major flaws.
Well,
he can't get left-handed hitters out at all. And they're going to really, that's what they're saying when a second round or really a first round pick, sandwich pick is picked. And
some of these guys haven't
come up with anything positive to say about
some of these guys that we're talking about haven't even gone to senior prom yet, Kevin. We can't be worried about what they're going to look like in 5 years when they get seasoning in the minor leagues. And again, as we said, what's the percentage of players that get traded before they ever get to the big leagues or never? This is
a lot of them do. I'm just saying I was in need of a boost, and it was depressing watching the first day. But again, to the bigger picture, didn't you think that was fascinating? It was almost like the GM saying, look, we're tired of the way baseball's going because they seem to pick contact hitter after contact hitter after contact hitter.
Yeah, so it's like I saw some Pirates fans melting down, by the way, about Curiel, and then, I obviously like a lot of LSU people were coming back and going, hey, you don't need to be worried. Like, this guy's really good. I am just specifically with Curiel, the thing that's got me paused is, I watched him hit and I said, that guy's going to find a way to be a big league hitter. I thought the power was going to evolve more last year. It didn't. The other thing, though, is I watched Dylan Cruz in college and went, there's no way on planet Earth that guy's not going to be a superstar in the big leagues, and he's terrible right now.
Yeah, he does not look good.
It's not over for him, but Cruz hasn't fixed. So that's the one thing that's made me go, man, I watched him play in college, and my reaction to it was like, hey, this is a guy who's just a can't miss. I felt somewhat similarly about Curiel, and he didn't quite have the career that Cruz had in college. And so that has me but watching him hit, watching him play the game, I always thought that guy's going to find his way. He's a little like Stephen Kwan for me, who I still think is a really, really good baseball player. And so, I like that those guys are being valued a little more.
But do you want, I do like that. It sounds like, it's like it's a quandary. I'm in a quandary here because I do like guys who make contact. But do you pick Stephen Kwan in the first round? If I'm a Pirate fan, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, and I think also, the Pirates are also notoriously known for trying to go cheap on stuff. And now that's the other thing about the major. That's the thing, too, and you know this as well. But it's so stupid is maybe not the best word. But what I hate is all this, slotted signing bonus stuff that these teams are playing this gymnastics about who they can get for what price, and so they're not actually just all the time drafting who they think the best player is. Generally the top 5, but then even the Curiel pick, he goes earlier than you think. I hate the fact that GMs have to do that. You know what I mean? It should be, hey, pick the best players.
Right.
But because of the way that baseball's structured, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, basically they're slotted. None of these, it's not like the NFL, right? In the NFL, these players have basically assigned value. So you sign them or you don't. When's the last time we heard of an NFL player who got drafted not signing? It hardly ever happens. In baseball, these guys are still, they just have the right to negotiate. And obviously, they have options. They can not sign. And the most famous one for the Astros, right? Were they the last team with the number one pick not sign when the high school kid? I don't know if it's happened since then.
Yeah,
right? Was it the, what
they've
was his
had
name?
two not sign.
Well, Mark Appel was.
Yeah.
But Appel ended up eventually making his way to the Astros, and he never did anything. And then they had the other kid, I think it was maybe the year after Correa. But anyway, there's no guarantee. And so apparently, teams they play games with maybe drafting a player earlier who was supposed to go later and going, hey, we're going to draft you 12th, but we're only going to pay you what you would have went if you went 30th because we're trying to save money here, but we still like you. And it's just, it's dumb as a fan to have to understand that teams are doing this approach because, everybody's pinching pennies. And it's why I think a lot of, it's another reason why, I don't know if salary cap's the answer, this or that, but the next CBA's just probably got to clean some of that stuff up.
Well, but I wonder if they get what they want and they get rid of the drafting high school players, is that going to change all that?
Well, it should clear up a lot of it because right now what a lot of the leverage game is the high school kid going, I got a scholarship offer, and now I got some NIL offer. And look, it happened with LSU. They had a bunch of guys not go as high as they thought they would because now they can go back to the team and go, well, wait a minute. If you don't sign me, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to go to LSU and play college baseball. Whereas the team, the former leverage play for them was like, hey, do you want to get paid a big signing bonus now, or do you want to go to college and make no money? And now these players can go, I'm getting money and I'm getting to go play college baseball. So I do think that if they just eliminate the high school drafting, that probably cleans up a good bit of it.
And, I wonder if part of it, and obviously what you said is a biggest part of it, but I wonder if some of it is Major League Baseball, once they shrunk the form systems and all and they shrunk the amount of rounds, are basically saying we want college baseball to be our form system in effect. And so college baseball is like, Cat, if you want us to be your form system, you got to stop stealing all our players that we sign.
Yeah. No, it feels like a lot like that. And the interesting thing to me, and I guess it makes sense, they don't want to go the one and done route because they've seen kind of how that has, been so muddy in college basketball for so long. So they go, we're going to do the 3 if we do it. And I mean, look, it would be a massive change. I mean, for a long time, if you think about it, the best players in the world, in theory, the vast majority of them have not ended up on college rosters. Bryce Harper never played college baseball. Mike Trout never played college baseball. Like, that will change immediately if they do.
It'll be very interesting. But no, I don't know if a shift is about to happen or, NFL clubs are like, man, we got to get away from this, home run derby baseball, which, again, in theory, I love because I like playing I don't even call that baseball. I call it home run derby. So I could look like this draft might be the beginning of that. We'll see how it plays out long term. We'll take a timeout and be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
How many delicious small sliders can you eat? You can find out by taking part in the Lafayette Small Sliders Eating Contest held during Lafayette Anniversary Bash on Saturday, July the 25th at 4611 Ambassador Caffrey Parkway. During the location's bash, they will feature bounce houses and games for the kids, live music, and, of course, yes, the eating contest. To sign up to see if you have what it takes to win that contest, visit ESPN, SouthwestLouisiana.com. Click on the Small Sliders sign-up sheet.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Only the best of the best will stand proudly on the platform when Michael's Men's Club brings you the 15th Annual Stripper Olympics. Wednesday, July 15th. It's a special night of fun and games when the Stripper Olympics returns to Michael's Men's Club. It's a no-holds-barred competition. Ladies, you have a chance to win big if you're in the game. Michael's Men's Club invites you to battle it out in 3 categories. The pole, the floor show, and the most ancient art of them all, the lap dance. With $650 cash per category. First place overall gets $1,500. Second place overall gets $1,000. And third overall gets $500. That's $5,000 in total Stripper Olympics cash to be awarded. Plus a feature in Exotic Dancer magazine. Professional entertainers come from all over the USA to compete for the $5,000 in cash. Guys, mark your calendar and tell your friends, because this is the event you cannot miss. The 15th Annual Stripper Olympics. Wednesday, July 15th at Lafayette's premier gentleman's establishment, Michael's Men's Club. Highway 90 Broussard. Doors open at 5 and show starts at 7 sharp. Tickets $30 at the door. Let the games begin. Get more details now at michaelsmensclub.com.
Hello, Acadiana. Cajun Carts is your #1 full-service dealer for new, used, and custom golf carts. Perfect for on the job site, the neighborhood, or even out on the green. We are the only authorized dealer of American-made E-Z-GO and Club Car here in Acadiana. For all your service, sales, and mechanical repairs, we got you. So don't wait. Roll on over to CajunCarts.com or stop by our Lafayette location by the Jockey Lot and see why we've been Louisiana's golf cart headquarters since 2003. Cajun Carts. Why walk when you can ride?
Looking for your next firearm? Come visit Louisiana Gun Shop in Broussard. We've got financing options, 12 months same as cash, plus layaways up to 90 days. With a wide selection of new and used guns, we've got something for every budget, big or small. Have an old gun collecting dust? Trade it in or turn it into cash. Need parts? We've got the largest selection of AR-15 components in the area, from springs to grips and buttstocks. Explore our ever-changing used inventory online at LouisianaGunShop.com. Louisiana Gun Shop, your one-stop shop for firearms and more.
It's 9 a.m. You just received a voicemail from your boss.
Hey, Janet. Heads up. We got an important meeting coming up Thursday. The big guys are coming into town, so I need you in charge of lunch, and we've got to look good.
Luckily for Janet, she knows a place, and she knows her boss will be impressed.
Honey Baked Ham can cater your next event. Delicious and freshly sliced deli trays, box lunches with sandwich, chips, and dessert. Or try our fresh salad boxes, and the perfect touch with a meat and cheese tray. Honey Baked Ham Company.
You know the routine. Eat, sleep, sports talk, repeat.
Well, up and at 'em. We're here.
Here is more daily sports talk from ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles.
Welcome back to Footnotes. As we talked about we're going to get into football, and I'm going to do that in the next hour. I guess I didn't expect Dawson and RP3 to be such big fans of the Astros draft, so we had a little bit more.
You're misconstruing.
We had a little bit more of a lively discussion on that than I expected, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's like a long-term stock investment, Kevin. I have invested in it. I have given some early thoughts. I have filed it away and said to my financial advisor, call me in 5 years. We'll see how it's doing.
But now, you got to admit, it's a little different with the draft now. Like, we used to have to wait 4 or 5 years. There's a lot of guys moving up a lot. They move them up a lot quicker now than they used to. It is different. The dynamic is different now. And my point is, it doesn't mean that they can't be right. But it's almost like they pick these guys who have, like, instead of, like, the overwhelming thought is, I don't know about that guy. Now, does it mean the overwhelming thought is correct? There's no doubt about that. Sometimes you're one of the few that picked this guy, and he turns out to be really good. But right now, is that where the Astros are as a farms? They need to be making the safest picks possible. They don't need to be trying to find hidden gems in the first 5 rounds. Everyone, their farm system's ranked towards the bottom by everyone. And they just botched the trade deadline last year. They just botched the off season and all the free agent acquisitions with 2 starting pitchers who can't get anyone out. And now you're gonna try to go off the beaten path and on day 1 of a draft. It just seems crazy to me what they're doing, what they did on Saturday. I mean, if there was ever a team that needed to take as many of the safe picks as possible, it ain't time to go off the beaten path, Cat. You're off the beaten path's been F. That's all your grades have been. The trade deadline last year, F. The offseason acquisitions, F. So in the draft, when I finally have a lot of picks, you're going to go out and go off the beaten path? Well, you better be right. What are you doing? I could not believe what they did. I mean, they pick guys that most of the teams are down on, and guys who pigeonhole themselves into 1+ skill. It's just unbelievable. By the way, did you see who got drafted yesterday? Parker Dillhoff got drafted.
Wow.
yesterday in I don't remember the round, 17th, 18th round, something like that. I didn't expect to see that name is the point I'm making when I was following the draft yesterday. Oh, man. He better be right on these. 1 hour down, another hour to go. Stay tuned.
Ozempic, Wegovy, GLP-1s. Every day, one thought haunts you. What if I stop? A 2026 British Medical Journal study says you're going to gain every pound back. So, what now? Well, there's an answer. Alex Goen patented hypnosis. The Journal of the American Medical Association says adding behavior therapy to GLP-1s produces 3 times the results than GLP-1s alone. And hypnosis is behavior therapy concentrated. Alex Goen Hypnosis is the only U.S. patented hypnosis proven useful by the U.S. Patent Office. Engineered to destroy cravings, make you full on half the food, and kill late-night fridge attacks. Only $59.99 or your money back. Weight loss seminar Saturday, July 18th at the Hilton Garden Inn Cajun Dome, 11 a.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. That's ALEXGOEN.com.
Acadiana Legal Services Corporation provides free access to legal services. Their work spans across Louisiana. They're committed to helping eligible individuals navigate legal challenges from family law to public benefits. Their team delivers reliable, high-quality representation. Acadiana Legal Services provides comprehensive benefits and a supportive work environment. Join a team that makes a difference in the lives of people. Apply today at la-law.org/careers or careers@la-law.org.
Imagine building your dream backyard pool without ever leaving your couch. With Duplessis Builders, you can go shop our in-ground gunite pool packages online, start to finish. Browse our pool designs, compare features, see exactly what's included, and choose the package that fits your style and budget. Once you purchase, our team takes over. From permit and excavation to gunite decking and final startup, you click, we build, you swim. Your backyard upgrade is just a few clicks away. Visit duplessisbuilders.net and buy your pool online today.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Carencro Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The FIFA World Cup semifinals are officially set. Spain beat Belgium on Friday, while England beat Norway and Argentina took out Switzerland on Saturday. Those 3 victors joined France, who had previously advanced, meaning it'll be France against Spain tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, and then England against Argentina on Wednesday afternoon, also kicking off at 2 o'clock. The Major League Baseball draft took place over the weekend, and there was plenty of local flair. Derek Curiel of LSU was taken 5th overall by the Pittsburgh Pirates, making him a potential new teammate for ace Paul Skeens. LSU also saw Jake Brown and Devin Sheeran get selected in the first 5 rounds. In total, the Tigers had 8 players selected, including local product Gavin Guidry. McNeese star pitcher Eric Knoxstein was selected by the San Francisco Giants in the 6th round. He'll be joined by Louisiana Raging Cajuns pitcher Cody Brash, who also went to the Giants a couple of rounds later. Former North Vermilion and LSU East star Tyson LeBlanc was taken by the Detroit Tigers with the 61st overall pick. As for the Houston Astros, they dropped their final series before the All-Star break to Texas, but they did add some players via a couple of first-round selections. Logan Hughes from Texas Tech at number 17 and Jake Radell from Notre Dame at number 28 were both added to the organization. Tom Kim returned to the winner's circle on the PGA Tour over the weekend. Kim won the Genesis Scottish Open with a score of 17 under. I'm Dawson Iserloh, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. This is 2 hours of sports talk like none other. Footnotes with the man who speaks his own language.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Your host, Kevin Foote.
Welcome back to Footnotes. You are listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette, 1041 Lake Charles. We broadcast live from the Bill and Hebert studios in Upper Lafayette. Bill and Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. If you would like to get in on the ESPN hotline, 706-0111. I don't know if anybody has any opinions on the Major League Draft or the Astros draft or any of that. Certainly feel free to do so. Our poll question of the day is basically, are you ready for football season? Yes, no, or you're getting there. And do we have an overwhelming, I'm assuming the overwhelming response, and it should be from the fans, is yes, right? I mean, that's where we are right now. I would think the overwhelming response is yes. And so, again, if I was a total fan and wasn't kind of both, didn't have, then certainly I would vote that way. The other thing that's taken place tonight, it's All-Star Week. So we talked about the draft just because it was this weekend. Tonight is the Home Run Derby. They changed the format. So we're in a lot of change. We just changed the eligibility rules for.
Kevin, I think they've changed the format every year since the Reagan administration.
Yeah, but they've really changed the format.
Yeah, and I actually am not sure. So, like, it's one of those things where, you know how when they announce it and, like, there's not a lot of details, there's, like, some overarching headlines, like, hey, they're getting rid of the timed round, this and that. I was like, oh, I think I'm on board with all that, and then I found out the specifics, and I think I'm kind of back out on it.
Okay, so the clock doesn't matter at all now. It's about how many swings you got. It's kind of the socialist way of doing this thing.
That's one way to describe it.
Okay, so everyone's getting the same amount of swings unless if you hit a home run on your last swing, then you can keep going as long as you hit home runs at the end.
Yeah.
So it's socialist with a little capitalism at the end.
The point, though, like, I get what they're doing. They're trying to. Because, like, the whole point was, hey, nobody wants to sit here and watch these guys take pitches because they'd wait till they got the perfect pitch. And you got these BP throwers. Sometimes it's somebody's dad, and they can't hit the strike zone. So you're sitting there watching these guys take pitches for 20 minutes. So they got rid of that with the clock. Well, now they're like, well, the clock's kind of dragging things out. But now you're going to be back to watching guys take pitches. By the way,
yes. Well, they took some even under the clock, but they're going to take more, I would think. Yes.
And then now, like. The whole idea before, the whole magic originally of the format that was, relatively unchanged for the majority of my childhood was like, hey, Josh Hamilton might hit 40 homers in a round. That'd be unbelievable. Well, now you have that going, and they're still going to take pitches. So that's like two negatives for me.
Wonder if the team said, look, I don't want my guy swinging that hard that
Yeah,
many
I think
times.
that is definitely probably part of it.
Yes. So, again, round one, all 8 participants will get exactly 20 swings. In the semifinals, when they're down to 4, everyone will get 15 swings. In the championship round, the final 2 will get 15 swings. And again, like I said, the final swing rule is if you hit a homer, then you can go as long as you hit homers. The minute you don't hit a homer, it's stopped. So it does provide for a little bit of a chance, but it almost makes it too regimented to me, the way they're doing this. So it's possible that, and again, you say you probably hate the home run derby. I don't, because the home run derby, that's the time to play home run derby in a home run derby. I don't want to play home run derby in the 10th inning with a ghost runner on second. No, I want to play baseball. Most of the time, I want to play baseball. And when you get backed in a corner and you need a bloop and a blast, I'm all for it. But no, I'm not anti-home run or anti-home run derby but the home run derby is the time. As long as there's no Astros involved, I'm good. So no matter what happens tonight, I hope I get to watch it. I try to watch it every year. I enjoy the home run derby. The home run derby is a time for the home run derby. And so I'm all for it, but they might have botched it a little bit. We'll see.
I'm still haunted. When I was 13 years old, I was on a travel ball team. We went to the World Series, and there was a home run derby to be had, and you had to choose a representative from your team, right? And so we did a team-wide competition, took place over multiple practices. I emerged victorious as the representative of my team. Yep, I thought about this day in and day out for weeks. We were playing the World Series in like Gulfport, maybe Biloxi, and it got rained out. Never got to know. Never got to compete on that biggest stage. Yep. The night of the home run derby, like the little skill showdown, everything, torrential downpour. Tournament took place. The home run derby didn't. And I've never gotten over it.
So you never got to give your personal experience of whether the home run derby messed up your swing or not.
Well, I won the one in the team, and we did a version of it, and that didn't mess up my swing at all.
It didn't mess up your swing?
Nope.
Okay.
So I think we're good.
All right. Well, by the way, have I missed it? Because I was kind of, my mind, I'm just kind of blah. But they didn't announce starters yet for tomorrow yet, did they?
I haven't seen it if they did. I haven't seen it.
So, again, any other thoughts you have on Major League Baseball, the first half? I tried to tell Blake, it's baseball. I know his Yankees were doing. I said, it's not going to last forever. And the Yankees had a nice weekend. They had a bounce-back weekend. I might regret with my following the Red Sox. The Red Sox are 2 games under 500 now. We've been watching the Red Sox and the Tigers. The Tigers lost some games over the weekend, so their big run kind of ended a little bit. But, man, with the Yankees a little flawed right now, and the Rays, I hope, if you ask me who I want to win that division, I hope it's the Rays. But, can they keep playing? They're 20 games over 500 at home. Suddenly, the Red Sox are solidly in third place by themselves and only 2 games under 500. They've already caught the Astros and a lot of the other teams that are right around the 500 teams. It is the Astros open up with the Orioles, who are right underneath them, a game and a half behind the Red Sox. So it's going to be a very interesting second half. There's a lot of teams that, the Royals are starting to hit. I think they probably lost too many games in the first half, but a lot of people were high on the Royals, and yet they just had a miserable on the road. They're 16 games under 500 on the road, so they just haven't hit enough on the road to win. And then in the National League, you have the Phillies 2 games behind the Braves. The Marlins are 4 back. The Astros play the Marlins. Not this next weekend. They play the Orioles, then the Marlins in the homestand. So they're going to have to it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully the Marlins are due for a few losses. And the Cubs have kind of, they're only 5 out now in the Central. So a lot of people were ready to give the Brewers a division, and it's a pretty good chance that they will. And if you ask me who I want to win, I would certainly pick the Brewers over the Cubs, but the Cubs are on fire right now, and certainly they could catch the Brewers. And then the wild card races obviously are really good. So I think it has a chance to be a very exciting from a second half from a baseball fan standpoint in the races, and it's going to make, because it's like this, it's going to make the trade deadline very interesting. And the problem is, if you wait until the trade deadline, I'm not just talking about the Astros, I'm talking about teams like the Orioles and the Red Sox and the Twins and the Tigers and the Astros and the Nationals and the Padres and the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals and the Pirates. All those teams that are right around 500, a little bit better or a little bit under, who are still very much in the race. It's a huge chunk of Major League Baseball. So if you decided the All-Star break, we're going for it, and you wait until trade deadline day, which, by the way, is it August 1st? It's in August now.
It's August 3rd.
So it's actually late. Why did they keep pushing that back?
Well, I think this year it's because it falls on a weekend, so they pushed it to the Monday after. I think that's why they did it.
It used to be July 31st.
Right.
Why
for a
couldn't
long
they keep
time.
it that way?
I don't know.
But anyway, if you wait until the trade deadline day or trade deadline weekend, a lot can change in 2 or 3 weeks. Like, if you're one of those teams and you decide that we're going to try to buy, not buy big, but buy, you better buy now, because then all that could change by the time you get to August 3rd. So I don't know. It's really tricky. I think, not to say that you would be out of it by August unless you go on a really long losing streak, but if you play 400 baseball or 450 baseball or whatever, you might, man, I was feeling pretty good about making a trade and not selling some marginal, players at the All-Star break. Well, now I'm kind of not. And so I don't know. I understand sometimes negotiating-wise why they go to the end, but some of these teams need help, and the Astros are one of them now. Like, you need help now. And so the waiting until the All-Star break, to the trade deadline, I don't know how, for a lot of these teams, I don't know how wise this could be. So I'm going to be interested to see how many teams wait and how many trades they're going to make before those final 4 or 5 days. Why wait that long? Make the trade now if you're going to make one. So we'll see how all that plays out. All right, so let's do this. We'll take our time out, and when we come back, we will talk football. I'm going to try. I kept trying to push it off, and we had to address some thoughts on the Major League Draft because it happened this weekend. But we will talk football on the other side. Stay tuned.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Bluebell Ice Cream's been making the best ice cream in the country for more than 100 years. They've unveiled another great flavor this summer, chocolate lava cake. This limited edition flavor features classic vanilla ice cream with rich chocolate cake pieces, chocolate sundae sauce, and a dark chocolate fudge swirl. I have a brother named Jason who would love this because he is a chocolate fiend, creating a dessert-like experience reminiscent of the molten chocolate lava cake in every bite. You can find chocolate lava cake along with all your Bluebell favorites at your local grocery store. So make sure to pick up a pint or two of Bluebell ice cream today.
From Tiger Stadium to the Texas state line, ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is your home for live and local sports talk in Southwest Louisiana. We're your official home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles also tackles the latest involving the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, McNeese Cowboys, and New Orleans Saints. So keep it locked right here. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Every weeknight, MeTV has your laugh therapy.
To chase away the blues or the olive drabs.
With 2 hours of MASH at 5.
This guy's ankle has tickled my funny bone.
Followed by the Andy Griffith Show at 7.
Doggone it, Otis. You're supposed to be hugging me when I'm arresting you.
But he likes you, Bard.
Weeknights on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
We are the soldiers of the Louisiana Army National Guard. We are your neighbors. We are your sons and daughters. While we serve part-time, we are learning valuable life and job skills. We are earning money for college, for trade and technical schools, and for certifications. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. We are your Louisiana Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the LHSAA, are the 110,000 high school sports students in Louisiana. And so we stand We stand for the runners, soccer and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
We are Lions International, the world's largest service organization. We are volunteers committed to strengthening our communities and supporting those in need, one act of kindness at a time. For more than a century, Lions have been serving a world in need, right here in our community and around the world. Lions International makes the impossible possible. This is your invitation to join us, because the only thing missing from our mission to make a difference is you. Visit lionsclubs.org to find a local Lions Club near you.
You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station, and your home for the LSU Tigers.
Welcome back to Footnotes. If you would like to give us a call on the ESPN hotline, certainly feel free to do so, 706-0111. All right, so our poll question of the day, which we talked about, is about whether you're ready for football season. Yes, no, or I'm getting there. So certainly go back and go to the website and vote on that at ESPN SouthwestLouisiana.com and vote on where you think that should be. But with that said, I guess it's time to start talking about football. So one of the things that we do, and we're not going to do it yet, because we normally do it at the very end of July, beginning of August, right around when the trade deadline is going to be, kind of when camp kind of starts. I guess we'll start doing it. Saints camp is late July, and LSU and McNeese and the Cajuns will be the beginning of August. So right around the time that Saints camp, we will have had media days for all the conferences and all. We'll do this. But I can bring it up just to start think about it. One of the things that I've done for years at the beginning of that is try to come up with that number for the lowest acceptable, what our consensus or somewhat consensus of the lowest acceptable win total or record for each team. And so it's going to be with LSU, it's going to be pretty high. It was pretty high last year, and obviously they didn't meet it. It was pretty high the year before, and they didn't meet it. But with Lane Kiffin around, it's going to be high, and so it's going to, that makes it obviously tougher to meet. I'm probably a little higher on the Saints as a glass overflowing fan than a lot of people, and so that one's going to be interesting. The Cajuns, I don't really know what to think, and it's interesting because I don't know what to think, like I said earlier, about the whole conference and the whole division. And so that impacts, what do you think about the Cajuns? Because, it may not be how good you are, it's how good of the teams that you're playing are, and how do you match up with them? So I don't know. But again, that process we're going to, and McNeese, they show more stability last year, and now they got, they need to be taking that next step to winning more games. Even though, they got things more organized and heading in the right direction and all of that. Got a little stability, but now they need to add to that stability with more win total. So we'll see how – it's going to be interesting to see where we land on that. But at least it's time to start thinking about that a little bit. The other thing that has come up for a while now, and I thought this year, it's going to be totally different. Totally different. One of the things that's been intriguing to me for a while now is how similar the issues are for the Cajuns and Saints, which there should be zero correlation other than they play the same sport, different levels and different personnel, different everything. But over the years, it's always been kind of amazing to me how a lot of their issues are very similar. The outlook, the kind of things we're saying in preseason, season previews are very similar. Their strengths, their concerns. And I thought, well, it's going to be very different this year. And when you go into it, I don't know. I don't know how different it is. Both teams kind of, there's no quarterback controversy. Both teams feel like they've kind of found their quarterback, and yet there's still some questions because it still kind of feels like a little bit of a small sample size on both. Like, how much can they extend and improve upon what we saw from a pretty small, an encouraging small sample size? So in terms of the quarterbacks, kind of the same. Running backs, they both, depending on, because we don't even know if 41's going to be on the team or not. We still don't know that. I think there's some decent depth, but I don't know. I think the Saints running back situation is a lot more clear because they have a clear-cut number one. I don't know that the Cajuns have a clear-cut number one, but there is certainly transition in both of them. So I don't know that that's as similar. The wide receiving core, I think it's not all that similar because I really think Shelton Sampson, if he can be healthy, is set up to be a clear-cut number one receiver, which I like. We've argued about that for years since Jefferson. So the Billy Napier / Coach Dez eras with Tim Leger as the wide receiving coach, they haven't had a whole lot of, number one clear-cut receivers. I think there's a chance to have that in Shelton Sampson. The Saints, on the other hand, are kind of going in the other direction this year. I think last year, Chris Olave had to do too much. Now, this year, the Saints have the kind of depth at wide receiver on paper in mid-July to have the deepest receiving core in the history of the franchise. Every time I see a highlight, though, is Bryce Lance too skinny? Like, is he going to make it? We all know how productive he was and all the big plays he put up, Bryce Lance. But, I mean, he is so skinny. That cat needs to eat some rice and gravy. But we'll see how that plays out. But you got to love the depth of the and I think that the Cajuns wide receiver depth has a chance, but they got it clear cut. Now, it's similar in that both of them, I think, are going through transformations. On the Saints side, you have depth. On the Cajun side, you recruited a different skill set. And we talked about this a little bit, and we're going to be talking a lot about this more on Wednesday and Thursday. Trenton Chaney, Russell Babineau, different kind of receivers, and they've been recruiting for a while. And so if you're going to like them and you're going to recruit them, then you got to be able to do what they do best, which is throw it to them on the line of scrimmage or near the line of scrimmage and let them run. That's not how this offense is done. So the route tree is going to have to be different. And I don't think that's the situation with the Saints, but I do think it's going to be different usage of the wide receivers for the Saints, just like the Cajuns, because they're going to have so many more. They're going to be able to rotate so many more options. It's not going to be just about all Chris Olave. Of course, a lot of that's going to be based on the Riddler and whether he plays or not. The other thing that's, I think, somewhat similar is the offensive lines. The offensive line has largely been a disaster show in recent years for the Saints. Last year, it was a disaster show for the Cajuns because of all the injuries that they had. So the thought process for both is like the offensive line needs to become more of a strength again this year, when in times in the past it has been a strength for both. And so for the Cajuns, it's about staying healthy on the offensive line. I also think I don't know, I haven't done it yet, but I've some of it. There are certain players that I'm going to really be watching and hearing what coaches say about them. I think one of the more intriguing players, speaking of the offensive line, coming from camp, is Jace Mitchell, the transfer from Tulane. And it sounded like he impressed a little more than they thought he was going to impress through spring. So how much is he going to play? Jacoby Isom was a true freshman last year that had to play because of the injuries. And then he got hurt. Where is he? Is he going to, how high is he going to be in the rotation there? And then Zay Alexander's a guy, a tackle, who missed all of the spring because of an injury, but that they're really high on. So, we've got that situation. Then obviously the Saints offensive line should be enormously better. That's the idea anyway. You've got 2 first-rounders at tackle. You went and got the top free agent guard that you needed, and it's all, again, the injury, it's all about whether McCoy plays or not. If McCoy doesn't play, it kind of just puts a whole different element of it. And then you've got to see, you drafted a guard in the 4th round to see if he can replace the guy who's been one of your trouble areas at right guard. So the whole the nuts and bolts of it are different, but the overall concept is similar in that it was a really big problem in recent years, especially last year with injuries, and they're hoping it. Both the Cajuns and Saints are hoping that it's going to be a little bit of a strength this year again, when and a lot of that is based on health, especially. Tight end situations, I think, are very different. I think the Cajuns' tight end situation is solid. I really like Kane Jensen, old school tight end. Great, seems like he's got all the leadership skills that you're going to need. And I think Brock Chappelle was solid last year. I think the ceiling for the Cajuns' tight end is solid. I think the ceiling for the Saints' tight end is way above solid. I will see what Juwan Johnson. If you notice last year, when Shuck took over, Juwan Johnson's, and I don't think it's so much about, what Spencer did. I just think the offense was different with Tyler than when Spencer was in. And Juwan Johnson became way more productive, way more consistent, and way more big play. And then they've added, they drafted Delp. They added Fant in free agency. Again, wide receiver-wise, has a chance to be as deep as it's ever been. If Delp is as good as some people think he is, tight end-wise, they have a chance to be as deep as they've ever been. Think about that. When have the Saints had a really good receiving third tight end and a really good productive starting tight end receiving-wise? So I think in terms of wide receiver and tight end, they have a chance to be as deep as they've ever been at those two positions at the same time. It's scary. All right, before I got a lot more to say about that, but we out of time. So again, we want to talk about football. So I'm willing to start the process today because it's here, it's right there. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how all that plays out. But we'll talk more of football as we're trying to get ready for football season from our poll question of the day and just in my little mindset. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The FIFA World Cup semifinals are officially set. Spain beat Belgium on Friday, while England beat Norway and Argentina took out Switzerland on Saturday. Those three victors joined France, who had previously advanced, meaning it'll be France against Spain tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, and then England against Argentina on Wednesday afternoon, also kicking off at 2 o'clock. The Major League Baseball draft took place over the weekend, and there was plenty of local flair. Derek Curiel of LSU was taken 5th overall by the Pittsburgh Pirates, making him a potential new teammate for ace Paul Skeens. LSU also saw Jake Brown and Devin Sheeran get selected in the first 5 rounds. In total, the Tigers had 8 players selected, including local product Gavin Guidry. McNeese star pitcher Eric Knoxstein was selected by the San Francisco Giants in the 6th round. He'll be joined by Louisiana Raging Cajuns pitcher Cody Brash, who also went to the Giants a couple of rounds later. Former North Vermilion and LSU East star Tyson LeBlanc was taken by the Detroit Tigers with the 61st overall pick. As for the Houston Astros, they dropped their final series before the All-Star break to Texas, but they did add some players via a couple of first-round selections. Logan Hughes from Texas Tech at number 17 and Jake Radell from Notre Dame at number 28 were both added to the organization. Tom Kim returned to the winner's circle on the PGA Tour over the weekend. Kim won the Genesis Scottish Open with a score of 17 under. I'm Dawson Eislerlo, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is packing its bags and headed to Tampa for SEC Media Days. Tune in starting Monday, July 20th, as RP3 and Mesh and The Lowdown with D'Lo will be broadcasting live from Radio Row for ESPN's Live from SEC Media Day coverage, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Kick off the 2026 season in Tampa with ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Ready to transform your backyard into the summer paradise you've always dreamed of? With Duplessis Builders custom gunite pool packages, we make it simple to own a stunning, long-lasting, in-ground pool built just for you. Choose from classic designs, all customizable to fit your space, style, and budget. Our pools come with quality finishes, energy-efficient equipment, beautiful lighting, and professional installation from excavation to decking, so you can dive in before the next heat wave hits. Don't just dream it, build it. Visit DuplessisBuilders.net.
Do you know how many tax resolution firms have been forced to close because they were taking advantage of people or have gone out of business? It happens all the time. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. As a matter of fact, there are national tax relief companies that are currently under court orders to cease operations. So if you have IRS issues, do not fall for the threats and scare tactics of the national so-called tax relief companies. The Bryson Law Firm has been doing this for decades. We have a AAA BBB rating, and our entire focus is IRS problems and tax liability issues. An IRS problem is a legal problem. Let the Bryson Law Firm help you get relief the right way. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Don't put it off any longer. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Bryson Law Firm. LSB filing number LA2519684.
MeTV is America's #1 classic entertainment television network. And here's one of the reasons everybody loves MeTV.
Oh, it's a classic.
The great comedy lineup on weeknights.
This will be fun. Come on.
With MASH.
Loaded with snappy comebacks.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I was just funning with Barney.
And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Now we got a show.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
We are the soldiers of the Louisiana Army National Guard. We are your neighbors. We are your sons and daughters. While we serve part-time, we are learning valuable life and job skills. We are earning money for college, for trade and technical schools, and for certifications. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. We are your Louisiana Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Broadcasting live from the Beal and Hebert studios in Upper Lafayette. Beal and Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. Back to more of Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Welcome back to Footnotes. We are beginning football season. We spent most of the first hour reviewing the Major League Draft over the weekend, the frustrating Astros series and kind of where they stand, and we'll see what they do. I'm not expecting the Astro. You know, I hear names like, the Tarek Schoolbull stuff is just silliness. It's not even worth talking about. But even Sonny Gray, I don't see that. The beauty, it's kind of like I say when you have a bad starting quarterback. The only good thing about having a bad starting quarterback or a mediocre starting quarterback is unless your backup is just absolutely dreadful, if the starting quarterback gets hurt, the drop-off isn't that far. It's not like Drew Brees to whoever. And so when you don't have, if you're the Astros, if you don't have a major league outfield, which they don't, and you don't have a major league starting rotation, which they don't, it doesn't take that much at the trade deadline to improve your team. Doesn't take that much. So I'm not expecting them to get Sonny Gray. And first of all, why would the Red Sox trade Sonny Gray? They're back in the race. The Sonny Gray talk is silliness. Really, you can go out and get Michael Walker, who's having a bad season on a team that's having an awful first half, and greatly improve your team. Because remember, they don't have a major league starting rotation right now. They don't have a major league outfield. So go out and get Jake McCarthy, who had 204 last year, but he's having a career year from the worst team in baseball. That's not going to cost you a lot. So those are easy trades to make. And if you overpay a hair, okay. It's not like you're overpaying with you're not going to get, this king's ransom for Michael Walker and Jake McCarthy. But I would sure be praising him if he actually pulled that off. And so, again, we talked about that. We were talking about the Saints situation when the last break came at wide receiver and tight end. I don't know that there's ever been more reason to get excited at this time of the year. Now, you've had years where you were more established. Obviously, Marcus Colston, in his prime, you knew exactly what you had. We thought we knew what Plastic Man Michael Thomas was until Casper left him in the game to get hurt when they were mopping up yet another blowout win over the Yucks. But, they really, understand that last year, this is almost amazing, really, if you think about it. The Saints had at midseason, they were off to historically bad numbers offensively. You know, the Saints finished 14th in the NFL in passing last year. A hair above the midway point in passing with not a lot of wide receiver play and in a very transition year without a lot of depth at wide receiver or tight end and a change at quarterback. They had the 14th most passing yards in the NFL last year. Think about that. And then now at this year, you know who your quarterback is. You arguably have more depth at wide receiver, especially if the Riddler comes through. The Riddler's kind of the key to all of this. The Riddler, by the way, is Tyson. and the first-round draft pick from Arizona State. Hopefully he comes through. But if he does, if Delp is as good, and if Jawan Johnson can continue what he did, with none of that, they were 14th in passing last year. That number is amazing to me when you go back and look at it. They were 28th in running.
They were trailing a lot of games, though. That's
well, yeah, but you still got to have guys to complete passes too.
Right, but
they were
trailing,
but not by a lot in most games. Like, if you go back and look, even when Spencer was there, yeah, they didn't have a lot of leads, but they were down by 7 to 10 points all them games. Like, those were all kind of blah games. I don't think this was nearly not, and then I'm getting to get why it wasn't. This was nothing like 14 and 15 and even 16 for the Saints when they had historically bad defenses. Like, folks, a lot of people don't realize this. The Saints finished 9th in the NFL in total defense last year. 9th. The Saints had, guess where the Saints ranked in passing defense yards-wise last year? Number 4 in the NFL. The defense was not nearly, I keep hearing people talk about how bad the defense was. Now, do I think the Saints had the 9th best defense? No, I don't really think they did. Probably a little closer to 13 or 14. But statistically, they did. They were 18th rushing and 16th scoring. So, and a lot of that is their special teams were so dreadful, and that's going to be immensely better. So, again, I'm not saying the Saints are going to be number 1 on offense or number 2 on offense, although I don't know. It's totally out of the question. But I don't want to be that because I want to play defense and be ahead in games where you can run the football, to Dawson's point. They probably threw for a few more yards than you want to at times because they had no running game. So I want to be overall more balanced, but be able to not be 28th in rushing. And by the way, how in the world could you have a worse rushing game than the Saints last year? Like, I don't know who those teams were. I have to go back and look. But, I mean, if you had a worse rushing game than the Saints, I feel sorry for you. Depending on who the team is, I guess. But that is dreadful. So the Saints were 28th in scoring, 28th in rushing, 23rd overall in yards because they did throw for some yards. But again, I don't think that was nearly as mop up as it was in 14 and 15 and 16 because the defense they weren't getting got blasted by the Rams game was a mop up yard game. But like you look at all those games at the beginning of the year, the Patriot game never got out of hand score-wise. They were never trailing by that many points. The Cardinals game, they weren't trailing by a lot of points. The Cheaters game, they weren't trailing a lot of points. The Bills game was a straight-up game. They probably outplayed the Bills. They just botched it. Most of their games, it wasn't that way. So it's going to be and that was with very little talent on the depth chart at a lot of these positions. The point is that there's a lot of reason that for optimism that the offense is going to be way better, even though the numbers last year, for as bad as they were kind of shocking when you look at them. On the defensive side, that's where a lot of people are questioning for the Saints. And they could be better. I think it's realistic to say the Saints will be better on defense this year and potentially not be as high as 9th. I hope they're higher than 9th, but they could be better and potentially higher. It's funny how the biggest question mark for most people is the cornerbacks. And the Saints gave up the 4th fewest passing yards in the NFL last year. It's funny. I mean, I'm not obviously, there's a lot of things that could be said on both sides in that deal, but they gave up the fourth fewest passing yards. Now you say the reason why that is they were trailing in a lot of games, and again, that is a legitimate point. But still, teams were trying to throw the football at least for the first 3 quarters, and they gave up, and they faced, the MVP and the runner-up to the MVP last year. And they faced, Seattle, who won the Super Bowl. They faced the great Baker Mayfield, who was on the first half of the season. He was on his way. He was going to win the MVP. Baker Mayfield. It's going to be there's so much reason for optimism. Now, on the Cajun side of that, I buy that. I think cornerback is the biggest reason. I think the cornerback concerns for the Saints are overrated. I do not think the cornerback concerns for the Cajuns are overrated. The Cajuns' pass defense last year was dreadful. Dreadful. Like, it has got to get better, and it should have been better. So, it's, whether it's Jeremiah Moses, I mean, we hear a lot of things about Avery Demery, but we heard a lot of good things about cornerbacks at this time going into media day last year. And other than Brent Gordon, none of the other ones panned out at all. And so, Jeremiah Moses, Avery Demery, they're really going to have to step up. They're really going to have to step up. And so I'm a lot less worried about the Saints' pass defense than I am the Cajuns' pass defense, although cornerback for most people is the number one question mark for both of them on defense. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Storm season here, ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station, and Mid-South Power Solutions in Crawley bring you these hurricane safety tips. Make sure to secure your home and bring in outdoor items before the storm makes landfall. Have an emergency kit stocked with food, water, and medications. Know your evacuation routes and listen to local authorities. Stay informed with battery-powered radio and make sure you have fresh batteries. Remember, safety is in your hands. These hurricane preparedness tips are powered by Mid-South Power Solutions in Crawley, your local Generac dealer. Visit midsouthpowersolutions.com.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
The best businesses aren't just businesses, they're neighbors. Here's a message from a proud certified South Louisiana business.
Bro Bridge Truck Stop Casino. They have the newest games around. Hot seat drawings and monthly specials like no one else. Located on the Bro Bridge Highway and on the banks of the Vermilion River. Come out today and try your luck at the Bro Bridge Truck Stop Casino.
When you support local businesses, you strengthen the communities we call home. Shop local, support local, certified South Louisiana.
Your Honor, I would like to introduce exhibit number 1.
MeTV is America's #1 classic television network.
There can only be one #1, me.
MeTV features over 60 of the greatest classic TV series each week.
Go with the winner.
Enjoy dramas, comedies, westerns, sci-fi, and more.
You just watch me.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
Stop smoking with Alex Goen patented hypnosis.
My name's Robin Fletcher. I've smoked for 46 years. I went to a seminar in March. I took my 3 sisters and my brother-in-law and my sister's best friend and them went. None of them have smoked a cigarette, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
My name is Jen Carpenter. I went to a seminar to stop smoking, and it worked.
The only stop smoking method in America proven useful by the U.S. Patent Office because it reprograms your subconscious. Alex Goen breaks your connection to cigarettes, coffee, stress, driving, even other smokers. No cravings, irritability, or weight gain. You walk in a smoker and you walk out free. Only $59.99 or your money back. Stop Smoking Seminar Saturday, July 18th, the Hilton Garden Inn Cajun Dome at 2 p.m. Weight loss at 11 a.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. That's ALEXGOEN. alexgoen.com.
Looking for your next firearm? Come visit Louisiana Gun Shop in Broussard. We've got financing options, 12 months same as cash, plus layaways up to 90 days. With a wide selection of new and used guns, we've got something for every budget, big or small. Have an old gun collecting dust? Trade it in or turn it into cash. Need parts? We've got the largest selection of AR-15 components in the area, from springs to grips and buttstocks. Explore our ever-changing used inventory online at louisianagunshop.com. Louisiana Gun Shop, your one-stop shop for firearms and more.
People often ask, is Kevin Foote crazy? Let's look at the evidence. He can recite box scores from a 1976 baseball game with ease. He puts corn on his spaghetti. And he believes a mythical creature called the Piper determines outcomes of baseball games.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
So, we let you decide. Back to more of the padded room annex of Footnotes.
Welcome back to Footnotes. Again, kind of the theme of the day, from our poll question to the topics of conversation, is football season. I guess for me, begins on Wednesday when Sunbelt Media Day, for the purpose of this show, is kind of starting today. And so we talked in the second hour mostly about the Cajuns and the Saints. And what are we going to be looking at? Obviously, not this week, but next week. We'll be talking a lot about LSU because guys will be out at SEC Media Days. And we'll see. And, it's, again, the expectations are going to be extremely, extremely high. I always have a couple players that intrigue me going into a season. And I think number one on my list for the Cajuns, and we'll see how it plays out, but kind of the fan part of you and as well as the analytical kind of media side of me, I don't know if Dawson is – because Dawson does the same thing, whether it's a team in the league or certain players, but – the one guy that I is number one on my intrigue standpoint, kind of if I'm going to say, okay, my favorite player that I kind of interested in and want to see how good they do and think they could make an impact is Tito Chicory. I don't remember if I'm saying his name correct.
Sounds right. I did not have that on my bingo. I didn't know you were going to go with him. No, that's
Tito
that's
Chicory. One, he's got a great name.
Great name.
Two, he was, and again, I'm a little biased here because of what I do for a living, but he was a great interview. He wasn't a good interview. He was a great interview when he transferred to the Cajuns. And plus, he's got the classic, comes from a small school. No one knows about him. He's never really done a whole lot. He did a little bit in his last stop, but he just seems like the guy who's as focused as anyone. And he's the guy that you kind of hope does well. I mean, you want all the players to do well for the teams that you follow and are fans of. But he's a guy, I would put him kind of at the top of the list. Now, I'm not saying he's the most important guy. Like, we talked about the cornerback play. Like, they've got to get better in the secondary play line. For you could argue Brent Gordon was the best player on the defense last year. You could argue that. Or one of them. And it's amazing how a guy who was so highly thought of by just about everybody who watched him played in a secondary that was so poor last year. Like, they gave up so many big plays. They gave up so many first downs. The completion percentages, and we'll talk about that when we're in New Orleans, the completion percentages for the opposing quarterback was way too high. Like, their pass coverage last year was terrible. And so it's got to get dramatically better. And so I understand that Chicory is probably not as important as, like, you know, Brent Gordon and whoever, you know, Jeremiah Moses and Cody Jackson at safety and whoever else plays safety. I get it. But he's a very interesting story. So looking forward to seeing how he does. All right, football season's here. Get used to it. That'll do it for today's show. Have a good one.
Only the best of the best will stand proudly on the platform when Michael's Men's Club brings you the 15th Annual Stripper Olympics. Wednesday, July 15th. It's a special night of fun and games when the Stripper Olympics returns to Michael's Men's Club. Guys, it's a no-holds-barred competition. Ladies, you have a chance to win big if you're in the game. Michael's Men's Club invites you to battle it out in 3 categories. The pole, the floor